So the economic freedom fighters say it's setting the tone for political takeover in the Western Cape. The party celebrated its 12th anniversary as thousands of Red Berets packed the Khayelitsha Rugby Stadium this weekend. The EFF leader, Julius Malema, said that the party is readying itself or its machinery for the 2026 local government elections and is confident of making inroads in the province. Political brand analyst Dr. MK Zwakala now joins us live for this conversation. A very good morning to you, Dr. Zwakala. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Looking at, from a brand perspective, what the EFF was able to put up this past weekend, what do you read into it, especially around its organizational skills?
Yeah, morning, Aldrin, to yourself and your viewers. No, definitely, this was the talk. I happen to be in the Cape Town area, of course. I think the EFF, what they've always managed to do over years, that I think it's very evident that they're very deliberate on events management. So I think what they pulled out this weekend was very impressive. Especially from a brand point of view, from a brand presence point of view. But this is nothing new though, from the EFF. You may recall that even choosing Khayelitsha, I think there was a strategy behind that as well. The former ruling party had its Gen 8 statement in the same, precisely in the same area. So I think they're very good with events. That does enhance their brand. It does remain top of mind. And they don't only do this before elections. I think be it's cleaning streets, be it's engaging in the labor market, but they're very good on being top of mind, which is key for political party.
Yeah, and just finally, before we move on from that point, I found it interesting as well that they had a children's section, a children's play section at the stadium as well. And you look at that and you think about, does the EFF say that right now we understand who our constituents are, and our constituents are actually young parents with children, and therefore we need to take care of their children? But I wonder to what end they are able to now use that to say that how then do we speak to those young parents?
That's a tactic. So, Aldrin, I think from an observer point of view, they really want to be a household brand, right? So, and this is a common practice even with corporate brands, even not so much in the public sector. So they want to be a household brand. So the children must be familiar. Yes, they can't vote, right? So I'll take you to sports, right? So even with sports brands, a child would support whatever sports team that their parents are supporting, right? So that team then becomes a household brand. It's a very, very strategic tactic. So if you've got a children's section, that's a memory, implanting a particular memory about a child that has once attended an EFF gathering. So what then happens when they grow up? The likeliness of them aligning with that particular brand is quite high, especially when they've got parental consent, right? So it's a very good tactic to say, look, we're not just for the voting. You take it now over to the higher education space. This brand is really, they've really solidified in that space. And that's the youth. Those are graduates. And then it's a very, I think they're maturing. 12 years later, they're really maturing and they want to be a household brand that can be relatable to children, to the youth and to adults, of course.
Yeah, the difficulty with the EFF has always been its ability or lack of ability of translating what we see on TV as this sea of red into votes at the end of the day, whether it is with a by-election, whether it is the local government elections or the general elections. The EFF came in 2014, they got about 6.35% of the vote, and then 2019 went all the way up to 10.8%. And now they're in the single digits with about 9% of the vote. And the question then really is the EFF able to translate once again the sea of red into a sea of votes come the ballot paper?
Look, I think that they must be quite realistic with the South African context. I think the EFF may have to reconsider some of the stances on particular matters. the issue of foreigners. It's certainly not. It doesn't sit well with the South Africans who must vote for them. I think the issue of, I know that you probably say there's a constitutional matter pronunciation of this. The issue of the Kill the Boer song, it's not relevant. It's very divisive in a South African context. Fully accept the Apex Court concluded on it. I don't agree. So there are certain stances. I think the EFF will listen a bit more. Yes, they have regressed by 0.5% in the previous national election, but I think that's a minor inconvenience. One of the reasons I'm seeing them maturing, after maturing, they're growing, right? I think that they're slowly reaching maturity. 0.5%, it's a slight inconvenience, particularly now in a GNU context where the ground is really fertile. The former ruling party is regressing. The brand is diminishing by day due to corruption, alleged corruption. The DA is stagnant. They stuck at 19-20%. The MKP is another context. I think they tribal. That's regressive, similarly to the Patriotic Alliance. So if you look at a national political party brand, I think that the ground is really fertile because now, due to the ANC effect, I think now the ANC can really be ambitious about their growth.
Yeah, you speak against the Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer, Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer song and the chant. The EFF leader actually takes credit and says that you are feared all over the world, not because of your guns, not because that not because of your guns, but because you are armed. They are scared of you because you speak truth to power. And this is in relation of that video that was beamed in the Oval Office. And there is some level of truth that brand EFF may have gained some level of traction from that moment that happened in the White House. But once again, what does that translate into?
Attraction can be negative or positive, Aldrin. We can take it back to the whole PR thing. So I think, yes, of course, the whole world was watching, but I think it's incorrect. Even in today's context, yes, be militant. That's their persona. They're really a militant brand. But I think coming from the type of history that we come from, Aldrin, where people were actually being killed in the apartheid years, people were being slaughtered, people were slaughtered, right, for wrong reasons. So I think we should always avoid any stances, any articulations that may make us regress. That's why I vehemently disagree with parties that organize on race, on tribe, and all of those things that divided us just only 30 years ago. So yes, they did. The world was watching. Is it the right thing to say a certain population must be killed, even though it's a figure of speech? I don't agree with that. So I don't think it's one of the things that they may have to reconsider. We do not want a divided society.
Yeah, I wonder if Julius Malema will then use this moment as well to create a martyr out of himself, considering the visa decline that came from the United Kingdom. But thank you so much. Fortunately, we've run out of time. Dr. MK Zwakala, who's a political brand analyst, and of course this informs the poll that we're running this morning, asking you, will the EFF be able to lose lost ground? Remember that QR code will be